And then we're going to take all the supplies that we've created or that we've gathered, and we're going to provide them to wherever it makes sense after the storm passes. And so, looking at this, obviously the water, some of these other things. You know, when Matthew hit, you know, that hit my district, and we're doing a lot, and obviously we were involved with trying to help this, but we didn't have Madison yet. Madison came after Matthew. So now we're thinking, yeah, food and water, but definitely bring diapers and the formula and all that, 'cause it's very important for people with young children. So I'm glad we're doing some of that here. You know, a week ago, people would not have, weren't even thinking about any type of storm. And then even when this thing first came on the horizon, like, yeah, it was a storm, but it seems like it's just grown in ferocity, and it's going to be very, very deadly. I mean, you're looking at really significant storm surge from the Tampa Bay area all the way over to Alabama on the entire coast. And obviously some of the areas you're going to have potentially 10 plus feet of storm surge. And so most people, I think, heeded the warnings to get out. Those that didn't are now in a position or are really forced to hunker down and try to ride through it. But I would say thank you for helping out here so that we can help on the back end. But make sure to pray for the people in harm's way right now, because this stuff is absolutely life-threatening, and it was different. You know, you remember last year when we dealt with Irma, we were following that thing when that thing was like hundreds of miles away from Florida. We didn't know if it was going to go to Jacksonville or Palm Beach or Miami or West Coast, and the whole state was really watching that. This one kind of snuck up on us, and I just fear that maybe some folks didn't think it was going to be as strong or didn't heed the warnings, and so keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And then we'll obviously want to make sure. I know Governor Scott has been all over this. I was able to talk to him yesterday. You know, he's concerned about the storm surge. You know, the wind and rain is tough. Obviously, that can do a lot of damage, but there's really no way if you're caught in a 12-foot of storm surge. I mean, that's just life-threatening, and there's no two ways about it. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers. You know, once this passes, obviously we want to make sure that the people who need that assistance on the ground are going to get that. And I know that Governor Scott has a lot of resources ready. I know some of the power resources are being mobilized as well, try to get people's power back on. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And look, you know, for the veterans community here in Florida, to me, we're a great state for veterans. We're a great state for having a good military footprint. Northeast Florida is one of the best veterans communities in the entire country. Not only because we have the active duty footprint, but also for the number of people who leave the military and decide to stay in Northeast Florida. And so as a veteran, it's something that obviously I appreciate. I was serving for a time at Mayport Naval Station right here on our coast, and have gotten to know a lot of people in the community from the military perspective. As a congressman, you know, veterans issues have been very, very important to me. We've worked very hard on PTS treatment for veterans who come back with those emotional scars from war. And you know, you have groups in the Northeast Florida area like Canines for Warriors that have worked to try to solve that problem. We've worked in the Congress to get the VA to do a pilot program with these service dogs, because I think that that's something that could save lives and has saved lives. So as governor, you know, we're going to continue to focus on being there for our veterans. When people wear the uniform and they're willing to risk their lives, you know, not everyone is called on to make the ultimate sacrifice that the select few have done, including obviously, you know, having Chris here is very special. But everyone could potentially be called upon to do that. When you wear the uniform, you don't know what the mission's going to require. You don't know where you're going to be sent, but you're basically writing a check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to including your life. And so when people are willing to do that and they're serving our country and serving honorably when they get out, we need to make sure that we're standing by them. So as governor, that will absolutely be a priority for me. I'm going to continue on my efforts with the post-traumatic stress, working with the federal government, but also working with our organizations here in Florida, because I think it will save lives, and I think it's very, very important. So I want to thank you guys for coming. I'm sorry we couldn't do, you know, a more rah-rah campaign rally, but given the circumstances, you know, we think it's important that that we're keeping the folks in Northwest Florida in our thoughts and prayers, and that we're actually doing something to be able to help folks who are going to be in need. So your contribution is important. It will make it on the scene wherever it makes sense once the storm passes. and I just appreciate that really. And Casey, where's Casey?
She's back.